Hi everyone. This exercise is called the container. Containment is a therapeutic tool that can be used to help us hold and set away, contain material until we are ready to spend time with it and have the capacity to process it. Containment is not about deleting or suppressing our feelings or experiences, but to set aside and to hold on to in a very intentional and purposeful way. So sometimes we have distressing feelings, memories, experiences from the past or from the future that pop up for us. This could also be in the form of physical sensations. And sometimes when that happens, we don't have the time, the capacity, the energy to really spend with the material. And so containment allows us to put those things away. So some things to consider when thinking about a container is that it should be big enough to hold whatever we need to put away. It should be an uncommon item that we're not going to be seeing in our immediate environment day to day. It should be something that we are able to seal and close off. And it could be something that has almost like a two-way valve system. So we're able to just let out a little bit at a time. So for the purpose of this exercise, we're going to spend some time picturing a container in our mind's eye, and I'm going to walk you through that. So to begin, I'd like you to just take a moment to get settled and comfortable wherever you may be. Perhaps it feels good to just take a breath here and settle in before we begin the exercise. If it's comfortable for you and you would like to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. If that doesn't feel comfortable and you prefer to leave your eyes open, that is okay too. So to begin, I'd like you to bring into your mind's eye an image of a container. So some examples of containers would be Tupperware, a plastic Tupperware container, a wooden chest, a bank vault, a safe, could be a room somewhere. So there's no, right way to do this, but taking a moment to picture a container. And in doing so, I'd like you to try to think of a mildly uncomfortable or irritable experience that you recently had that we can use to practice putting things away with our container. So the first thing is picturing your container and then thinking of a mildly irritating or upsetting experience that you recently had. So as you're picturing your container in your mind's eye, I want you to start by paying attention to its shape. So just noticing the shape of your container. Is it round? Is it square, rectangular? Next, I want you to notice the size of your container. And in doing so, I want you to check in with yourself and see if the size of the container is large enough to hold whatever it is that you need to put away. Next, I want you to notice the material that your container is made out of. Perhaps it's plastic, it could be wood, it could be metal, just noticing the material that it's made out of, the texture of that material, if there's a temperature to it, and if there's a color to your container. Then we're going to imagine the lid for your container. Whatever mechanism, it doesn't have to be a lid, it could be a door or a lock. Whatever mechanism you want to be able to seal your container and close it. So just take a moment to picture that. Then we're going to open your container. So whatever mechanism you just imagined to use for locking it, closing it, sealing it, I want you to undo that and to open it up. Take a look inside your container and see what the interior looks like. Again, making sure that it's large enough, it's strong enough to hold whatever you need to put away. Once you get a sense of the interior, I'd like you again to bring to mind that mildly irritating or upsetting experience that you recently had. Just see if there's anything from that experience that you would like to put away right now to practice using your container. So when you're ready, putting whatever needs to go in your container away. Just imagining yourself doing that. After you've had a chance to put away what needs to go into your container, I invite you to close your container and seal it. Again, using whatever mechanism you've imagined in your mind. So taking a moment to close, to seal the container. Then I'd like you to check. Check and make sure it's closed, make sure it's sealed. Check and make sure it feels strong enough to hold whatever you've put inside of it. And in doing so, if you're not completely sure that the container is strong enough to hold what you've put inside, I invite you to add an additional layer of security and containment. So this could really be anything. You might feel like you want to add an additional lock to your container. You may want to put your container that's sealed inside of another container. So whatever you need to do to get a sense that what you've put in your container is contained and is going to stay there until you're ready to revisit it. So taking a moment to do that if you need to. After you've done that, just doing one final check and making sure again that your container feels secure. And if it does, then I invite you to bring your awareness back into your immediate environment and know that you can revisit your container and access whatever it is you've put away at a time that feels good for you. Thank you.